What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at and talking about the next Star Wars show that's slotted to come out December 3rd onto Disney+. The title of this show is called Star Wars Skeleton Crew. And here today we have an article from Forbes that's going to give us a little bit of detail and background about what this show is all about. So, getting into this article, will Star Wars Skeleton Crew be able to capture the magic of the Goonies in a galaxy far, far away? I really don't know what to make of Skeleton Crew yet, even after a new interview would star Jude Law and a batch of first-look images. I suppose even with the trailer, it can be tough to size up something you haven't seen yet. The new show is a decidedly more family-friendly affair than any other live-action Star Wars show yet, featuring 4 child protagonists, played by Ravi Cabot-Connors, Kyriana Crater, Robert Smith, and Ryan Armstrong. The series is described in its official synopsis. When 4 kids make a mysterious discovery on their seemingly safe home planet, they get lost in a strange and dangerous galaxy. Finding their way home, meeting unlikely allies and enemies will be a greater adventure than they ever imagined. Law plays Jod Na Wood, and it sounds like the rest of the cast will be quirky enough. Nick Frost plays a rusty, old, cranky droid that sort of reluctantly helps the kids along the way, series co-creator John Watts told People. The droid's name is SM-33. He's the first mate of a mysterious ship. This is pretty clearly a nod to Mr. Smee from Hook and one of the many little Easter eggs and references we've promised. I mean, even in the first episode, there's a couple really great references that certain fans will immediately recognize, Watts told the publication gushingly. Well, that would be definitely interesting to see what kind of Easter eggs and references they're referring to. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Going on, we scroll down, we could see, okay, so we have some images here. We got Jude Law and looks like the child protagonists. So, not really much to go off of on these images, but, again, we'll just have to wait and see when the show actually comes out. But going on, we'll have to wait and see. I like the idea of the Goonies meets Star Wars a great deal. But the 80s and 90s are long gone, and simply having references and Easter eggs in a thing doesn't make it as great or exciting as the thing it's referencing. Callbacks can absolutely be fun, but they're no trade-off for original content. Again, we'll know more on December 3rd when Skeleton Crew debuts on Disney+. Okay, so I kind of like that last little bit here in the article where it says, simply having references and Easter eggs in a thing doesn't make it as great or exciting as the thing it's referencing. And I agree with that 1,000%. Callbacks, Easter eggs, references are absolutely fun. They're a nice little hats off to things from the past, but you can't take a show and just load it up with nostalgia, with Easter eggs and references to cover up or make up poor storytelling and content. So the fact that they're saying that that's not a trade-off for original content really gives me a lot of hope for this show. I'm not going to knock the show. I'm definitely not knocking the show. Especially at this point, because we really don't have too much to go off of. But with it being a more family-friendly live-action Star Wars show, you know, me personally, I really don't see why they would take that approach, just because they have more animated shows and they're coming out with a little bit more geared towards the younger audience and kids. And I really don't know how many people really want to see a live action, family friendly Star Wars show. Especially too after the recent show, The Acolyte. They really need to step up their game, and this thing really needs to knock it out of the park.
Hey, don't fuck this up.
So again, I'm not knocking it. I'm going into this with a very optimistic, open mind. Honestly, if the story ends up being really good, like Andor, for example, Andor was really slow paced, but man, did I love that story. If the story can catch me like it did with Andor, I'm all on board. I'm all for it. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully they do this show justice, and even with it being family friendly, I hope they still focus and put a lot of effort into the story, along with all the references and Easter eggs. So with that, I appreciate you watching the video, and remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.